What's going on, guys? Good evening. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday afternoon. It is another edition of Stateside Footy, and of course, it is the U.S. men's national team watch along here on everyone's favorite little soccer podcast. It is Stateside Footy, and of course, I'm Steve Silver, and I want to thank everyone for his tuning in tonight. You know, obviously, this is the third place match of the CONCACAF Nations League after a disappointing Thursday performance against Panama. I know spirits are low around the national team, but that being said, we're going to get into all the lineups and all that good stuff shortly. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, of course. And of course, if you want to talk U.S. men's national team or the Canadian national team, I don't know if there's any Canadian fans out there. The chat room is going to be open through this one all night long. So first and foremost, thank you. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. So let's go ahead and get in. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. And we got to talk about a few things because there seems to be a trend now when it revolves around the U.S. men's national team that's not necessarily prevalent in Major League Soccer. And that's for whatever reason, fans, like when we have these disappointing performances, fans always immediately want to point fingers at the coach or say like, this wouldn't have happened under our predecessor, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, I get absolutely just shit-faced angry because to be honest with you, it makes absolutely no sense. And eventually we're going to have to put some of this on the players. And of course, the players themselves are the first ones to take some culpability when it comes to these type of performances. But I want to talk about a few things really quick. And number one, when I think about that Panama game, I always go back to the preliminary rosters and I go back to the naming of the 23-man rosters. And it was apparent to me that Pochettino sold out for the short term when he named the 23-man roster. And what do I mean by that is what's coming around the corner in 15 months. It's the World Cup. What happened in 2024 with the Copa America disaster? There's not a lot of momentum with the national team. And one of the things that Pochettino, at least in my opinion, Pochettino was doing with this roster was trying to figure out a way to not only win a trophy, but also gain some momentum moving forward, because that's something that this team absolutely needs. It's been a tumultuous 12 months leading into this version of the Nations League. And when I think about that Panama match, there was enough talent on the field where they should have ran Panama off the pitch. Now, that's not taking anything away from Panama. I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They sat back in a 5-4, 5-4-2, 5-4-1. And they were going to keep 10 men behind the ball, and the U.S. were just going to have to figure out a way to break a low block. They clogged the middle, weren't giving the U.S. men's national team any space, and that's not on Pochettino. His tactics specifically. Now, if everything plays out, they should have been able to break down a low block. It just didn't happen. I thought they did a few things nice, but at the end of it, it just was not enough. One of the things that I was hoping to see was a little bit of both, a little bit more of a youth integration, but also still being able to field a competitive roster enough to get a trophy. The Nokai Bankses of the world, the Cole Campbells, the Damian Downs, Paxton Aronson, some of these young guys who are having phenomenal seasons for their clubs, who have still yet to make their first appearance with the national team. This would have been a pretty solid opportunity for Pochettino to, Diego coaching. It would have been a really solid opportunity for them to get integrated into the team. Chances were pretty good. They probably weren't going to see the pitch, but it's nice to have some of these youth guys around to get integrated. So that certainly didn't happen. And I don't have a problem. I certainly didn't necessarily have a problem, except for, when, Anthony Robinson, Austin Trusty, and some of the other guys, decided to stay back in Europe. And then some of the, replacements were called in. I thought it did lack a little ambition, but it is what it is. There's still enough talent where they should have been easily been able to do it. The problem with blaming Pochettino is this happens in England all the time when expectations are not met and the team is not playing up to what we, the fans, are putting on their shoulders, the expectations that we, the fans, put on this team, because we think that this team is capable of doing so much more And when we have these type of results, what ends up happening is we look for somebody to blame. And in this case, it's Mauricio Pochettino. Number one, Pochettino's not going anywhere. So put that, get that out of your head right now, nor should he go. That's not that. What it is we actually have to asking ourselves two questions. Number one, are these players as good as we think they are? I think they are. So what's the problem? What is it that there's just no there's a disconnect, right? So what is it? If we think that these players are talented, and by all means they are, when we look at their clubs and the clubs that they're playing, and and the level that they're playing at, then why is it that they come to the national team and they look disinterested? Why is it that every single, FIFA window, these guys look like they're disinterested, like they'd rather be somewhere else? And even when it comes to a competitive tournament like the Nations League, they still look and act and play the same way. That's a very good question. And a lot of these questions are, things that Pochettino has to ask. Now, does that mean that he's just going to fill his roster full of MLSers? Probably not. I would probably imagine that the core that we're seeing here at the Nations League is going to be at the World Cup. But there has to be something that Pochettino is going to have to do to get the best. One of the things that I personally believe this team lacks is an asshole. Who is that dude who is going to sacrifice and take a yellow early to either set the tone early, or in a situation where they're maybe momentum's slipping away, that they're going to go ahead and eat a yellow just to kind of get things, back in order? Who's going to be that guy who is going to go 1v1 and make things nasty? That to me is the question that I want to know, because our old generations of this national team certainly had that in spades, certainly had the dog in spades, certainly had that classic American arrogance to them, right? The 94 team comes to mind. That wasn't the most talented team in the world, but they had hunger, they had drive, they had determination, they had grit. They were assholes, and it showed on the field. The generation with Landon Donovan and Charlie Davies and some of these other guys, the 2010 version, far and away more talented, and they didn't necessarily need to have it, but they had it, and it served them well. This generation, the quote-unquote golden generation, is supremely talented, and I will say it, I will say it till the cows come home. I think this is probably the most talented group of U.S. players, but for whatever reason, they just do not seem to have that, I guess, animalistic spirit, that classic American arrogance. Some people call it confidence. I call it arrogance, right? The ability to walk on the field, not caring who they're playing, but walking onto the pitch, expecting to win, and will do anything necessary to do that. That is something that I want to see. And that's something that Pochettino is going to have to figure out. So a lot of questions still need to be answered. I know a lot of people, when you see these type of performances against Panama, your mind automatically turns to 2026, and you're asking yourself, well, is this going to be another embarrassment? I don't think so. By the way, here's the U.S. lineup tonight. Patrick Aubameyang will start up on top of the 9, replacing Josh Sargent. Pulisic's on the left. Diego Luna is going to be in the center net at the 10. Timmy Way is back on his customary right side. The double pivot is going to be Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie. Max Starkson starts on the left. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Mark McKenzie will get the start at the center back pairing. I like that. And Joe Scally will be on his customary right with Matt Turner in goal. I like this lineup a little bit. I'm not 100% thrilled with it, but I do like the double pivot, and I do like the fact that they're giving Diego Luna some run. And if that means Diego Luna is going to be starting, we'll probably see Gio Reyna at some point tonight. I understand why Patrick Aubameyang is getting the start tonight over Josh Sargent. I didn't think Josh Sargent played terribly in that opener. Had a couple of chances in the first half. In the second half, he was pretty much non-existent. I don't necessarily think that was Josh's fault. But that being said, Aubameyang came on and actually had a couple quick chances there. So he's going to get some run tonight. I like the center back pairing. Me personally, I think it should be Richards and McKenzie, but I can't complain with Cameron Carter-Vickers, and we'll find out what Max Arston is going to be able to do on that left wing back side. And Matt Turner again is in goal. And I know a lot of people don't like it. But that being said, get used to it, man. That's your number one. That's your number one. But in this game tonight, we know exactly what Canada is going to do. They're going to take it right to the U.S. And so for me, this is all about not just how the U.S. responds, but will the U.S. be able to give some of this back? Because you know it's going to come. You know it's coming with Canada, and we're about ready to kick off. So make sure you hit your like and subscribe buttons, and join me in the chat tonight as the U.S. will play this long. Here's Timmy Weah, and quickly the ball is conceded to Canada, and there will be a whistle as Christian Pulisic and Alphonso Davies kind of tussle there for a minute. Canada's center back pairing is strong, man. I like Moises Bombito, and I like Alphonso Davies. He's probably one of the best left backs in the world. Canada's got some talent, man. There's no doubt about it. And I would probably assume that Canada is going to run and gun tonight, trying to take advantage of any U.S. mistakes early. And like all of a sudden, here's the Canada press. But U.S. breaks out of it. Here's McKinney. Dumps it off to Scally. Plays it forward away. A nice little touch. Oh, that ball deflects. Here's Timmy Weah in the box. And it's going to be deflected and out for a corner. So the first U.S. corner comes courtesy of Moises Bombito on a deflection as it gets out. And it started off the right-hand side as Timmy Weah tried to dump it off. Ball gets deflected and it bounces forward. And instead of trying to play one forward, Bombito knocks it out. Oh, it's not going to be a corner. It's going to be a goal kick. Bummer. And here comes Canada attacking. Of course, they're going to be in their traditional 4-4-2. Two strikers up top, and it looks like there's going to be an offsides right there with Johnson. This is a good Canada team, man. Like, what they lack in overall talent, they make up for grit. This is quintessential old school U.S. football. And they're gonna try to employ that mid block, take away the center of the park. And so far, and of course, there's nobody in the stands. I'm curious of why U.S. Soccer allowed this to happen. Why is the U.S. men's national team playing the B-side to Mexico in their own country? That's what I want to know. I understand revenue, especially in LA, but why are both teams playing a doubleheader in LA? Why not have Mexico play in LA and the U.S. play like in Columbus, and allow them to headline their games in their home stadium? It's a good question. It's actually kind of an insult to the U.S. men's national team, as one's going to be played down the right-hand side. In the box, plays it forward. Good defense by the U.S. And it looks like Cameron Carter-Vickers. No, as Mark McKenzie was there to knock this one out, so it'll be a Canada throw-in. And they throw it in immediately. As Canada is being forced to play it back now into their end, all the way back to St. Clair. As Canada will reset. The chat room is open tonight if you guys want to talk U.S. men's national team, U.S. soccer, the Federation, Pro-Rel, whatever you guys want to talk about, man, that's open tonight. And we're going to have a good time tonight. Hopefully the U.S. scores 4. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Just a dominating victory. That would be awesome. Awesome. That's a good little steal right there. Nice little grit right there. Nice. It's like that was Max Arfston right there. Clogging passing lanes. Not bad, not bad. Because that ball is going to try to be thrown in well down the line, and it'll get out for a U.S. throw-in. So far, it's a feeling out process as Canada has really put the pressure on the U.S. As they tussle down by the corner, it gets out for another U.S. throw-in. Yeah, maybe I'm just in the minority. I don't like this English approach to the U.S. men's national team where, when the fans set expectations on their team and when they don't live up to them, the first thing fans want to do is point the fingers at the head coach and look for somebody to blame. And while I will concede that some of his substitutions in that Panama game weren't the greatest, there still was enough on the pitch for them to beat Panama 100%. At some point, what we have to do is actually look at the players and hold them accountable, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are on the pitch, and they're the ones that, for whatever reason, seem to be disinterested. And I would probably assume that the next time that you see them come correct will probably be in the World Cup, because they probably look at this and just say, hey, listen, man, we're already playing 50-plus games a year. And really, what we really want to do is use these FIFA windows to actually take a breather, not come on plane ride for 16 hours from Italy or from England to come to LA and play Panama. It's sad but true. It's a different mentality these days, and these players probably don't think that the juice is worth the squeeze. Now, granted, if they were playing in Europe, if the U.S. men's national team were playing a road game in Europe versus like in England or in Italy or in Netherlands, chances are they come correct. I would probably assume. I think it has a lot to do with their calendar, their travel, and then also the opponent. Sad but true. As we are on a little bit of a standstill here, it looks like Canada's has somebody on the field, and it looks like it was Alphonso Davies, who, by the way, is probably the best left back in CONCACAF, if not Europe. That dude is awesome. Looks like the Canadian fans came correct today. Nice to see the Canadian contingent in the house. Disappointing loss to Mexico a couple nights ago, but that being said, they still came correct, man. Playing hard to the whistle. That's kind of I think that's kind of what U.S. fans want to see from their team. Like, win or lose, they want to see some passion. They want to see some fight. As that ball's going to get popped up and out by Cameron Carter-Vickers, and I believe it's going to be a Canada. No, it's going to be a U.S. throw-in. Interesting. Looked like it went off a U.S. defender there. Scally will play this in, as they're going to try to keep on pushing this up the right-hand side. No whistle. Canada will retain possession as they're going to attack down the left. 1v1. As that ball's going to get out, and I believe it's going to go out for a goal kick. Tell me what you guys think about tonight's lineup. Tell me how you feel about this entire FIFA window from the U.S. perspective. Are you blaming? Who do you blame for Panama? You've had a couple days now to digest. Let me know what you think, man, in the chat room. Tell me how you feel. Or, are you kind of like me where it's like it's the Nations League? Let's just go ahead and calm down. Oh, there's a box. Ooh, there's a play in the box. And Canada almost put one on the board. Good defense. That was a nice little weighted through ball. And it looks like it might have been Mark McKenzie right there. So it's going to be a Canada corner. Say that 3 times fast. And Chouinard will take the corner. Good player. I like the makeup of the Canadian team. Good combination. There's a ball in. Good deflection. Ball pops right back out to Davies, who plays it over Chouinard. Ball in, deflected. Ooh, good deflection. and U.S. will try to break. Oh, and there's the whistle. Down on the turf is Hajim Yang. I don't know how I feel about Patty. Good January camp. I don't know, man. I've seen him play a couple times with Charlotte already this year. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I still don't know if he is cut out for this level. I actually thought, Josh might get a run today, at least in the first half. I'm sure there's something with Norwich, something between them and Norwich, where he was only going to get one game. As the physios are looking at Patrick Aubameyang and Alphonso Davies. Ten minutes in, and it's actually been a very physical game right now. Something of what we expected. As it looks like Davies is up. I would assume that Davies will stay on the pitch, although it looks like Jesse Marsch has a player that's about to step on. So maybe they're going to pull Davies. As Joe Scally sits over the ball, it looks like we're about to resume play in the 11th minute. And okay. So Alphonso Davies is definitely coming off for Canada. That's actually going to be a huge break for the U.S. They like to attack. They like to attack down the right. So Davies comes off as play resumes. And the U.S. has to play it back. There's Matt Turner. Yeah, I think everybody assumes Zach Steffen was going to play tonight, but dude, it is what it is, man. He is their most experienced goalkeeper in the pool right now. And regardless of how you feel about him, I don't like the fact that he doesn't play a lot because sharpness is huge with goalkeepers. But that being said, Poch is taking experience between the pipes, and I can understand it. I don't necessarily like it, but who else is going to play there? Zach Steffen, Patrick Schulte. I would like to. That's the thing is earlier. I said that Poch can integrate some young players into the squad while still retaining the core and just getting them around the first team. A guy like Diego Cochin would have been perfect because that ball goes in for Aubameyang, but it was a little too heavily weighted as it gets out for U.S. throwing. Guys like Nokai Banks, Damian Downs, Cole Campbell, Paxton Aronson, as that ball goes in, as they try to turn, but that's going to get out, and I think it will be a U.S. corner right here. A way where you can get young players, and get their first caps. They probably could have used a guy like Nokai Banks or Damian Downs in this camp here. Maybe even Diego Cochin. I don't have a problem playing youth. There's a ball in. Far post. Deflected. And that'll get out for a goal kick. This team does not look sharp. Because that was really the U.S.'s first opportunity to score in this one. Yeah, Canada is really shutting down the middle of the park. As the U.S. is stuck on the wings, so they're going to try to attack up this left side. Good ball in. Out to Christian. Plays it forward. Ball in. And that's just a little too far as that's deflected out wide, but right to a U.S. attacker. As they're really laying on this press right now. What a waste. I don't know. I think, I take the long version that, this is just, the Nations League. Granted, yes, it's important, but is like, are these results going to determine what this team does at the World Cup? I don't think so. Granted, Poch wants to build some momentum. A win tonight can surely do that. That's a nice little reflection off Arston, as the U.S. will play it back. Here's McKenzie, plays it over to Max Arston. I like Max. He's pretty good. Good MLS left back. But that being said, man, I understand why U.S. fans are angry. But that being said, man, it's the Nations League. And I can understand why some of these players don't get up for it. But that being said, it's like I would probably assume come 2026, this group probably will be ready to play. And I'm sure you're going to see, the real U.S. men's national team stand up for that one. But, that being said, man, would you guys be upset if Pochettino held some of these guys accountable by not bringing them in during the window? With their play, have they earned the right to wear the crest? As they circle this one out to Arsenal, let's see if they're gonna play it long. Nope, they're gonna play it back. Credit to Canada though, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not making it easy as they're trying to cycle this one off to the right. Get forward. Nice little pass right there. As they finally worked it over to Arston, who's got to play it back again. Make a move. Play one long. God damn it. Oh, he got his back pocket picked. There's a ball over the top. Good coverage right there. And there's a whistle. There's always a whistle that'll go back to Canada, as they're going to try to work this one off to the left. Well, to be fair, the U.S. aren't making it easy either. They're not able to get forward either. So there's a ball over the top, down the left-hand side. Looks like it's Johnson. And that'll get out, and I believe it's going to be a goal kick. So still, we're 17 minutes out. Both teams really haven't had a lot of opportunity. Both teams are doing what they're supposed to do on defense. Their press has been pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat room tonight what your expectations are, what your prediction is going to be, who's going to score the goals tonight. Do you guys think this is going to be a Canada win tonight? That ball's played forward, but there's nobody there. As Ajamyang will try to press. There's just no fluidity. I like that Diego Luna's on the field, but so far he really hasn't had a lot of opportunity to work with the ball. Then again, they're not even looking for him. They're not trying to play centrally. They're trying to play, they're trying to play off the wings. Canada knows it, and they're shutting it down. It almost feels like the U.S. just has nowhere to go with the ball right now. Would I be surprised if the U.S. won tonight 1-0? That sounds about right. Maybe they'll get one at some point and hold firm. 2-1. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I can't see a 3-goal outburst. It could be a Dos Cicero. Wouldn't be opposed, as there's some tough tussling down the left flank right there with Christian Pulisic. Yeah, but this is definitely going to be a Christian game, though. It has to be. He has to be alone 1v1. He's going to have to do what he does best. And this is, Canada. And Alphonso Davies is already out, so he's been taken off the field. And they have yet to take advantage on that right side. And it's been a lot of movement with their back four. They just have not been able to get back up the field. Mark McKenzie's had a nice little workout. As they're going to try to play this one, and it's Ajim Yang and Timmy Weah. That ball gets out, so it'll be a U.S. throw in high. Here's Weah, 1v2. Look at Canada. Canada played that right. 2 men on the ball. They collapsed right on Timmy Weah. And then it looks like it was Weston McKennie with the best way to describe it was just essentially a tackle. He just mauled him to the ground. As they're going to try to play this one over the top. That was a good play by Scally. As that gets out, and it'll be a Canada throwing. Good Lord, man. There is no, there might be 10,000 at SoFi for this one. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad that the U.S. has to play the B side to Mexico on home soil. And that's a ball. Ooh. That ball pinged in the box. And there's Matt Turner. Canada almost scored right there. As they're going to try to play this one quickly off the left, but Arson is surrounded by 2 Canadians. As that ball went back to Matt Turner. That was a good throw-in. As that ball ended up on Jonathan David's foot, who put one on, but it gets deflected. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Matt Turner. Every time I see Matt Turner, his positioning is just not good. I could have sworn we were going to see Zach Steffen tonight, but apparently Potch didn't get my email. Then again, I predicted Matt would be in tonight's lineup. He's essentially been the number one the entire time. As they're going to have a nice little 1-2, but ooh, Wes's little back heel back gets deflected. As they're going to try to work this one. Here's Timmy Weah. Oh, good hustle by the U.S. Oh, that's a nice little layoff. Here comes Canada on the counter. As they're going to try to push this one up. They got space to operate too. As that goes out left. Nice little switch. 1v1 on the left side. Nice little through in. Ball. Ooh, deflected. They're moving, man. Canada's doing a good job. They got space to operate. There's a ball in. Not a good one, as that's going to try to get cleared. There's just no rhythm to this U.S. attack right now. And we're, 24, 25 minutes in right now? Canada looks to be the more fluid on the counter. They're able to get numbers forward. U.S., I'll give credit. They're defending really well right now. As Canada keeps pushing forward, they're on the left. They're looking in the box for David. As Johnson overlaps, there's the ball. As he's going to ping one in. Oh, and they almost found David right there. So there's Mark McKenzie coming over to clear it. Scally got there to try to get a block in, but Johnson just freely walked in on that overlap on the left side. It's nice. I guess it's nice to see Cameron Carter-Vickers. We kind of heard rumblings he would get the start tonight. As that corner gets deflected out, as Canada will try it again. That ball goes in. As the U.S. has done a decent job of defending. Canada retains possession. And it gets played all the way back to St. Clair. As Canada resets. Good press, though. As they're going to try to work this out as Timmy Way is trying to track this one down. Good tackle. Good tackle right there. That ball's over the top, and now he's got space. Coming in. Oh, Buchanan. Nice ball in. Canada again. It's a wave of Canadian attack. There's a ball in. Deflected. Oh! And it's Aloisi. And Canada takes the lead. In the 26th minute, Canada bags number 1. And we saw this one coming. The U.S. couldn't clear. And eventually that was going to bet. That was, that their bend but not break defense was eventually going to break. And that was a nice little ball forward from Buchanan. David put the first initial shot on. It gets deflected, but it was right there to Aloisi, who easily put it past Matt Turner right there. They just couldn't clear. Bad positioning. Good Lord. He was wide open right in front of the net. So the U.S. has their work cut out for him. 1-0 Canada here in the 27th minute. So there goes. Well, I think I predicted a 2-1 U.S. win, but Pochettino is not happy. They have a shot of him on the sideline. He's looking statuesque, but I think there is going to be. They're checking for offside, it looks like. Who invited the chick ref? Just playing. I'm playing. She's kind of cute, though. As we are checking here for offsides. If the U.S. are fortunate here, maybe they'll call it. But as we have a comment on Facebook, Ed Kiss says Canada is better, USA is clueless. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just personally think that the way that I feel about it is that these U.S. players don't put a lot of emphasis on non-World Cup matches in CONCACAF. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of this has to come down to scheduling. These guys have a heavy workload, especially if they're playing in on a Champions League side, on top of all the cup matches and all the league matches. Some of these guys are playing 50+ times a year. And on FIFA international break, most of these dudes just want to not play football. And so now they got to take 16-hour plane rides back to the U.S. to play in the Nations League. That could be offside. Nope. It is ruled onside, and Canada will stick to the 1-0 lead. But you know what? Here's the thing, right? Oh, now there's a yellow card. That's going to go against Joe Scally. Unreal. But that being said, man, I want to see how they respond. Are they going to fold? You know, these next 5 minutes are going to determine the rest of this match. And I truly do believe this, right? So if the U.S. can respond, if they can get on the front foot, if they can put pressure on Canada's defense. Right now, the U.S. has, 0 shots on net right now? 0 shots on goal? If they can respond correctly and at least put pressure and at least be somewhat dangerous, yeah. I like the U.S.'s chances to equalize, but if they continue to allow Canada to just control possession, dictate the game on their terms, this thing is going to be ugly, man. As Canada try to play it long. Here's Johnson. Yeah, they're just like Canada is attacking every single 1v1. They are playing the way that I want the U.S. to play right now. Canada is attacking north to south while the U.S. is passing, east to west. This is interesting. There we go. As they're going to try to play forward. Oh, that's nice. Now that ball gets taken away. Nice little run there, but that's a through ball. Yeah, Matt Turner's there. Oh, there we go. U.S. is starting to respond as they're going to play this down the left-hand side. And there's a whistle. And it's offside. As Timmy Weah gets called for the offside on the left-hand side. Ugh. I wonder what Pochettino does. There's a lot of talk about Pochettino and my beloved Tottenham Hotspur, the team that he led to a Champions League final. He made those comments while in North London recently. As Canada's got 1v1 on the left side as they're waiting for numbers to come forward. Nice little play there by Diego. If that ball gets out, it'll be a Canada throw-in. This was 3 weeks ago when Pochettino was in North London, and he made the comments that he wants to go back to Spurs. And, of course, for those that are paying attention, that, current boss Ange Postecoglou is in deep shit right now. And a lot of Spurs fans wouldn't mind seeing Poch back, but I think he's got a $20 million release clause. I don't think the timing is good. But would he leave the U.S. a year before a World Cup on their home soil? I don't know. That would be embarrassing to say the least. If Poch bolted for Spurs a year out, and we were left with fill in the blank MLS coach, as they're going to try to play this one forward to Timmy Weah, it's just a little too far. At least they're trying, but look at the space though. Canada's just running down. Canada's just running down. There's nobody there to lay in a block, lay in a tackle. They're just, good Lord, man. As it'll be a U.S. free kick, as there's words exchanged between Kone and Tyler Adams. Here's Max Starfson trying to push it up the left side, plays it into Diego Luna. Lays it off for Arsene, who gets ripped automatically, but there's a couple deflections. Does that ball get pinged forward? And Mark McKenzie does a great job, man. God, he's good. As the U.S. is trying to counter, they're trying to get back into this one. Here's Diego Luna. Lays it off nicely. And they try to switch it. Here's Timmy Weah. Oh, nice ball in. There it is. Patrick Ajiman. Ajimeng. I can't pronounce his last name. He scores. And the U.S. have equalized in the 34th minute. Nice combination play by the U.S. And that's how you respond, goddammit. That's how you respond. Nice little play in. And Diego Luna just lays it off to Ajimeng, who puts it in the back of the net. It all starts with a nice little inside cut from Timmy Weah. Luna just lays it off perfectly. And Ajimeng pulls the trigger and puts it in. And it is 1-1. What a goal. What a response. And the U.S. are back into this one. That was a nice touch. That was a beautiful touch right there by Diego Luna. In traffic. Just lays it off perfectly. And that's the response, man. That is the response. That's exactly what you want to see. And now all of a sudden, here comes Canada. As quickly as the U.S. equalize, there you go. Man, there's a whistle. But as quickly as the U.S., as Canada took the lead, the U.S. within 5 minutes responds, and that's exactly what you want to see. That's the tenacity. And now all of a sudden, they're getting chippy down on the field. And it looks like Ahmed and Johnson are getting browbeat pretty good by the rather good-looking ref. So Ajimeng equalizes. Does something that Josh couldn't do. All right. So we are in the 36th minute. And Canada will have a free kick off the left-hand side just right at midfield as that ball is going to go forward. As they're going to try to play it deep to David, but that ball skips by and into the arms of Matt Turner. And here come the U.S. as they're going to try to work this way up quick. Here's Arvston. Plays it all the way back. Out to Cameron Kata Vickers. Joe Scally's in trouble. And Vickers has got to boot this one up. Lays it off. Canada. Yeah. Why is Canada bullying the U.S.? Look at Diego. My God, this is a big Diego Luna channel. It is. But the U.S. is doing something that they didn't necessarily do in that Panama game, which is respond. Backs against the wall. Canada taking an early lead. U.S. responding. Beautiful. Canada with the free kick here from about, I want to say like a good 35 yards out. Here's the ball in. Good ball. Deflected. As the U.S. is trying to keep position, and they will. There's a whistle. The whistle. And there will be another Canada free kick. I think this ref is from Canada. I'm going to say it. Or she's got a secret crush on Jesse Marsch. I can understand it. She's a relatively good-looking ref. Jesse's a, regal, good-looking older gentleman. So Canada will stay above it as they're going to get set for this other free kick. There's the ball in. Nice low liner deflected as that'll get out. Nice play by Tyler Adams there. to keep this game scoreless. So it'll be a Canadian throw in here, deep in U.S. territory. So just as soon as the U.S. have equalized, Canada ratcheted up the pressure again. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but good Lord, man. Canada's being the aggressor here. U.S. is having trouble getting upfield. They're not able to do what they want to do because Canada's essentially shut down the middle of the park. As that ball gets cleared away, there was a race to it. Ball goes up in the air and out for a U.S. throw-in. So let's see if the U.S. can respond. That's a nice little ball right there. Popped it up. Now, Canada always has at least 2 or 3 guys on the ball. It's actually quite impressive to watch this. But here's, Ajimang almost had that ball through traffic. I have no idea what the hell that was. Matt Turner, what are you doing? Canada will hold possession as they're trying to work it up the left. That ball gets out, so it'll be a U.S. throw-in. This has actually been a very interesting first half. Canada scored first on a nice goal, and within 5 minutes, the U.S. responded. And since then, it's kind of been a stalemate. As there should have been a yellow card right there, but for whatever reason, there was no whistle against Canada. They will hold possession. Canada has been the aggressor in this one. I thought I had never lived to see the day where Canada would do that to the U.S. men's national team. But I'll give Jesse Marsch credit, man. He's got this Canadian team firing on all cylinders so far. The U.S. is just kind of struggling to keep up. I just want to see the U.S. respond, man. Like, I want to see them give it right back to Canada. So far, they've just kind of allowed Canada to do whatever they want as Canada's holding possession, as they're going to try to attack up that left side per usual. Now here's the switch to the right side, and there's a ball forward. And that ball skips on by. Here's David. As he lays it off. Back out to Johnson on the left. Oh, nice give and go. Ball over. Deflected. And that ball is going to get cleared out for a Canada throw-in. As they're going to try to play the long throw here inside the box. Here's the throw. Nice throw. Pops up. Schwinnar. Oh, Matt Turner at the far post. And now they're going to play this one long. And there is a whistle. And it'll be a yellow card. Finally, the yellow that we've been looking for, as Christian Pulisic gets taken down to the turf. And he looks slow getting up, as the U.S. were trying to counter quickly. Yeah, good. And that'll be on Moises Bombito. Good defender, by the way. Very good defender. As the U.S. will try to switch. And that ball, yikes. As they were trying to switch, that ball gets played out of bounds. And so now Canada will retain possession. Oh, actually, no, there's a whistle. So it will be a U.S. Free kick here as the restart. Play it. There you go. As they try to find Ajimang. They do. Ball in. Deflected. They're just not sharp. I'll give them credit for their goal, but since then they have struggled. They have struggled to move the ball up the pitch. Their counterattack is disjointed at best. That's a nice way of saying it. The U.S. counterattack is just mid. Like I would even say it was mid, as that ball goes floating deep into Canada territory as they retrieve. As they're going to try to play it out the right. Here's Bombito moving forward. Nobody around. He's going to play that in. Nice through ball. Ball in. Good deflection. That was Joe Scally. Diego Luna's tracked all the way back. Diego Luna's kind of been everywhere. Yeah, for those that don't know, this is a very big Diego Luna channel. I am a fan. As there will be 3 minutes of stoppage time as we are inching close to the end of the first half. As Scally is prepared to throw this one in. As Scally's looking for an inlet there, that ball sails over. Canada will retain possession. Good God. This never-ending stream of Canadian possession. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. As again, Canada's going to look to fire this one in the box as they got to throw in deep. That one goes in. That's a header at pings. And they try to play this one forward, and Canada swipes it right back. Oh, there you go. Look at Diego. Here comes the U.S. on the break. It's Luna. Plays it forward. He's got a man. And it's Timmy Weah. As Weah plays it in off the throw. And they got to play this one back. Here's Mark McKenzie. Back to Arston. And again, Canada shuts it down. As they play it all the way back to McKenzie. Here's Scally. There's nobody there as that ball gets out. Here's Scally. As he throws it in. There's nobody there except red shirts. And there's a whistle. There's no fluidity. As they're, U.S. has just been settled at playing it back most of this first half. They just are not getting forward. Credit Canada. Every single time the ball goes into the midfield, there's a ball over the top to the right as that gets out. U.S. throwing. Every time the U.S. try to play it in the middle of the park, there's two red shirts. They've been great on the wing as well, too, defending on the wings. And, Alphonso Davies came out of this match pretty early. So they're, Canada's doing it without Davies. And you thought that would be an advantage for the U.S. men's national team to attack down that right side. Think again. So we have gotten to the half, and it's 1-1. And we'll be right back. Woo! Good Lord, man. That coffee went right through. All righty. So the first half played out much as what I thought it was going to be. I figured that Canada was probably going to control possession here. And certainly they did, as we're going to pull up the halftime stats real quick. Yeah, okay. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, apparently the U.S. has controlled possession a little bit, but it's not by much. As we will pull this up real quick. As we will share this real quick, and as you see, the U.S. does control possession, 54-46, but it really did feel like Canada held most of the possession for the second half of that first half. Canada has 4 shots on target to U.S. is 1. Canada has the edge in big passes. Looks like the U.S. That's weird. The U.S. has 165 accurate passes. Again, much of it was disjointed. As we look at it, yeah, accurate long balls, 17-10. Touches in the opposition half. This is the big one right here. 51 for Canada, only 33 for the United States. And this is another one right here. Touches in the box, 21 for Canada to 6 with the U.S. Tackles, 11 for Canada, only 5 for the U.S. 12 interceptions. And this is what I'm talking about. When we talk about the U.S. attack, and what I felt all along was that there's just no rhythm. There's no continuity in the U.S. attack. And the question remains is, will we see halftime changes? Because one of the things that you can do is if you really want to go, if you really want to go crazy attack, maybe this might be, something where maybe Gio Reyna comes in, for a guy like Wes, and then the U.S. plays with 2 high 10s. And allows Tyler Adams just sit back and drop deep by himself. I don't know, man. Like, it all depends on how aggressive Pochettino wants to be. But one of the things that is really concerning is the fact that Canada has essentially locked down the middle of the park right now. There is absolutely no movement for the U.S. to be creative. So instead, what we've seen is a lot of switches, a lot of play down the wing, and of course, Canada again, regardless of where it's at, you see 2 red shirts, and so they're forced to play that ball back, and so Canada has kept the U.S. out of rhythm. Outside of the 1 goal, which was a nice play in there by Timmy Weah to hit Diego Luna. That's pretty much been it. And that's their only shot on goal, was their 1 goal. So on one hand, it was nice to see the U.S. Get back into it and to respond the way that you're supposed to respond. But now you have to take that next step. If you want to win this match, which means you're going to have to fight fire with fire, and you're going to have to figure out a way to play through Canada's mid-block. So the U.S. has it. They have the talent. They have the players to do it. The question is will Mauricio Pochettino gamble a little bit? So far, the U.S. defense has not been bad outside of the 1 goal where Canada caught him out of position. But outside of that, I thought Mark McKenzie's has played a very good first half. I'll even give credit to Cameron Carter-Vickers, man. He had a pretty solid first half as well, too. So, they've done a really good job with the over-the-top balls that Canada's trying to ping forward to Jonathan David. So, on one hand, the positioning as a back four has been pretty good. So, if Pochettino wants to gamble, man, now's the time to do it. This is like, if you want confidence and if you want swagger, if you want those type of things, maybe the time is to gamble, man, and let them respond. We'll see. I'm curious about how you guys felt the first half is gone. The chat room is definitely open, so go ahead and hit me there. Also, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and just give me your overall feel of this game. My feel is that Canada has been the better team. They've been the far more aggressor team. They've had more play on US's side of the midline than opposite. They've had far more touches in the box. So I don't know, man. Like, on one hand, I still think this game can go either way. It's going to be, which coach is going to be able to, to out X's and O's the other guy. I think Pochettino, me personally, he might be a little bit of a better coach. But that being said, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays this one. Is he going to continue with this 11? Is he going to stay a little bit more conservative, or is he going to find different ways where they can break forward and break down this mid block? It's going to be interesting. But one thing that's going to happen is a little bit more creative. I think Diego Luna on the field has played exceptionally well. Now imagine if there is another high roaming 10. Just saying. Canada has came into this match just trying to run them over with physicality, and for the most part, they've done a good job. That's how Canada plays, because talent-wise, the U.S. is better. Pound for pound, talent for talent, man to man, the U.S. is better. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily work out. By the way, interesting. I don't know if you guys listen to the Tim Howard, Landon Donovan podcast, which is wildly entertaining, by the way. Somebody asked them if they could assemble a starting 11 pre-2018. So you're going all the way back to 1990, which is the modern era of the U.S. men's national team, 1990. If they can assemble a starting 11 versus this version of the U.S. men's national team, who would win? And it got me thinking, right? Because now it's like you're essentially assembling an all-time best of 11 versus the modern current team. And what's funny is I wrote some guys on paper, and I'm like, 10 times out of 10, if that team played them, if those guys were in their prime playing today's U.S. men's national team, 10 times out of 10, the all-time 11 beats them, runs them right off the pitch. And the exercise wasn't to show a lack of talent. It's just to show exactly, how good this U.S. men's national team has been over the years, and just what kind of talent we have. So I thought it was interesting, right? The funny thing was that, a lot of people have Michael Bradley and Claudio Reyna in a double pivot. And as much as I like Michael Bradley, I would probably replace him with Tav Ramos. And I would have DeMarcus Beasley on my left-hand side as the left wing. And I'd have Clint Dempsey up top with Landon Donovan underneath at the 10. And I'd actually run what's his bucket? Eric Winalda on the right side. And I would have Brian McBride and Dempsey up top. Yeah. I think that would be such a killer 11. Good Lord, man. Tim Howard in net, of course. And I would have Eddie Pope and Carlos Bocanegra as my center back pairing. I'd have Tony Senna on the left-hand side, and I would have Marcelo Balboa as the right back. Now, if you want to get clever, you could also run that as a 3-back system, like a 3-5, like a 3-5-2. That would be also interesting as well too. Good Lord, man. But no doubt, like, it's interesting, right? Like, I don't think any of these games in the grand scheme as we're getting ready for the World Cup have any bearing except for the fact that losses tend to help you. I don't know if you guys have experienced this in your own day-to-day life, right? But that being said, it's like when you take L's, regardless if they're small L's at work or maybe you just had a bad day where something didn't go right, those are learning experiences, man. And I'll tell you what, the fact that we're under a new head coach who's implementing a different style of play, whose own expectations are very different from what we had under Greg Berhalter, that's going to take time. And it's not just me being a U.S. slappy or a U.S. Happy clapper. It's the reality, right? This isn't club football where Pochettino is working with these guys day in and day out for, weeks or for months. Like he only has them for like in a FIFA window, you have them for what? 2, 3 maybe training sessions, and then you're playing a game, and that's the same thing, right? So it's like he's operating with these players for like maybe a week before they go back, right? So it's going to take time for Pochettino, number one, to figure out who he can trust. And a lot of that comes with making sure that the players you want are in, but also calling in other guys than you wouldn't otherwise. And just letting them go out and play and letting them just run the system. And they're going to have setbacks, man. They're going to have failures. But I also think that that's also very good for this team as well, too. I think in failure, this team is going to learn where their weaknesses are and where they're going to have to improve. A lot of that's going to come from Pochettino as well, too, because he's going to have to make sure that the next FIFA window or the next window in general, whether it be the Gold Cup, he's going to have to look at some other players, man. And if that means we're going to see the Aronson brothers, that works. If we're going to see John Tolkien, that just might work as well, too. We're going to have to see some other guys. As much as I would like to see the first team in the Gold Cup, there's going to be some players who probably won't be here, right? Depending, Matt Turner and Gio Reyna, depending on their club situations, whether they stay at their clubs or whether they move to a different club. And then, of course, the Club World Cup as well, too. So some of these guys might be playing in that summer tournament, they won't be available. So there's going to be some openings for, to get looks at new players. And I'm telling you, man, the player pool is deep at certain positions, and now it's kind of time to bring them in and see what you got. There's a lot of guys in Europe that probably should get their first caps during the Gold Cup, right? The only way that Poch is going to know whether he can trust some of these players is by bringing them and let them see what they can do up close. So me personally, I think that's going to be the Gold Cup. So guys like Nokai Banks, Damian Downs, Cole Campbell, Paxton, Diego Cochin. Yeah, some of these guys you'll probably see at the Gold Cup. And that's actually not a bad landing spot for guys that are making their first caps. Do I think the U.S. can win the Gold Cup? 100%. 100%. It's a tournament that we've pretty much dominated for, U.S. and Mexico have dominated the Gold Cup for decades, right? So I don't see why the U.S. can't, and I don't think these performances are going to be relevant except for what are you taking from losses. It'd be nice if we had a Clint Dempsey, though. That would be awesome. But, that's the thing, right? So, I mean, that's why I want to see, the Damian Downs and Paxton Aaronsons and the Cole Campbells because, who knows, man? Maybe we actually do have one of those guys that play with just an immense chip on their shoulder. That's why I like Diego Luna, because he does play with an immense chip on his shoulder. 100%. Right? The U.S. need more of those type of guys that when something happens and they break their nose, they want to stay into the game. They want to stay in the match. Those are the type of players that I want. And sure enough, man, Diego already in this game has already had a nice little assist. So the players are starting to come out in the field as we're going to get prepped for the second half. And it looks like Marlon Fossey might come into this one as well, too. It's good to see Marlon. I like Marlon Fossey. I think he's a good right back. I actually thought he might play today, might start today, and it made sense. I thought maybe Scally might stay on the left hand side and Fossey might get the right. I didn't necessarily see Max Arfson starting today, but let's see what it is. Yeah, so Scally's going to come out, and coming in now is going to be Marlon Fossey. I like Marlon. We'll see if Gio gets on the field today. I would expect to see him at some point for Diego. As looks like Canada will take possession here as we start the second half. Yeah. Diego's a bulldog, man. I love Diego Luna. That dude, there was rumors that Diego might take off for Europe this last window. I would probably assume that's probably going to happen in the summer. Makes a lot of sense, especially when he has these type of performances for the national team. Like right now, Diego is essentially in the shop window with these performances. These are the type of matches that European clubs look at. And if you can play at this level, you can play at certain levels in Europe. And I think Diego Luna is doing himself huge favors by being on the national team and having these type of performances. 100%. I would assume Diego makes the move to Europe in the summer, as the U.S. are trying to counter here. As that one gets out, so it'll be a Canadian throw-in. So we're in the 46th minute. We've started the second half. It's a 1-1 draw so far. Canada got the scoring early, and U.S. responded. And since then, it has basically been, a back and forth. Canada trying to reemerge as the dominant side, but U.S. doesn't necessarily look like they're backing down. But that being said, they're just having trouble getting forward at this point. Canada's done a really good job in their pressing. Their counter pressing has been amazing. And it looks like McKenzie is going to come off for a second. I don't know if he's hurt. I doubt it. He's going to be off for a couple seconds. So Canada with the throw-in. As that ball pops up, as it's going to ping pong around the midfield, and it looks like it's going to come down to Canada. There is a whistle, though, on Chouinard. So Chouinard and McKinney are kind of mixing it up down there. And coming back on the field is Mark McKenzie now. Canada's in possession as they're trying to attack up this left-hand side. Oh, and he's got space, too. As he lays this one back. Switched it over to the right. 1v1. So I'll play this one back. There's a ball in. Ball in the box intended for Ahmed, but there is Marlon Fossey right there to break it up. So Fossey gets his first action here in the second half. He's good, man. Marlon can ball, man. Plays at Standard Liège in the Belgian Pro League. Here's Matt Turner. This will be a goal kick. Canada's doing a good job, man. They're doing a really good job pressing. As the U.S. will try to play this up, and automatically Canada swipes it back. Come on. Here's Diego Luna. As they try to drop it off, but Canada's going to race back into the box. Trying to play it over, Jonathan David, as that ball gets knocked out. And it looks like it will be Canada corner at this point. as they're trying to sort this one out, as they're running towards the touchline. Who got it first? Oh, yeah, no, that's a U.S. goal kick. That's a goal kick. Yeah, that went off of David 100%. Tyler Adams didn't even touch the ball. That should be a goal kick. And it certainly will. There's a little uncertainty there about who touched the ball, but upon replay, it was all Jonathan David. Jesse Marsch is trying to argue for a corner. He's not going to get it. As they are trying to explain, refs are trying to explain to Canada that's not how this works, but ball goes out if you're the last to touch it. As we're about to restart play, U.S. is in possession here as they play it out to the left. They're going to try to play this one forward. There's nobody home. Oh, they were looking for a penalty. That's what it was. Uh-oh, yeah. I can dig it at this point, but no. As the U.S. will get back possession, it's played all the way back to Matt Turner, who has to play it forward. But oh boy, turnover in the box. Ooh. Oh. That was a mistake right there. As the U.S. as Olawasi gets the ball in the box, turns and fires it over the. It was a deflection. As that ball pinged right in the box to Olawasi, who fires it high over the crossbar. Oh, U.S. are so lucky not to be down 2-1 right at this point. The U.S. made a crucial mistake as they turned that ball over. And this should be 2-1. Olawasi just fired that one over the crossbar. This should be 2-1 Canada, but the U.S. are fortunate to still have this match tied. As there's a turnover again. As Canada controls possession. And again, much of the same. The U.S. cannot string together two passes in the attack. Canada is essentially taken away their counterattack. So now all of a sudden the U.S. men's national team are just in reaction mode. Canada pretty much has been able to do whatever they want at this point. As the U.S. will get possession back. Let's see how they play this thing. Here's Matt Turner. Standing over it. Is he going to play it long? Is he going to play it short? He's going to play this long. And he overshoots Ajimyang. And oh, nice little give and go right there. As they're going to try to play this off. Here's Diego Luna. And that ball gets chipped away. And now it's a 1v1. Here's Jonathan David in the box. Max Starks. Oh, my God. Max Arfson with a beautiful slide tackle. As the ball ends up in Matt Turner's hands. 1v1. No penalty. Oh, and Jesse Marsch is fuming on the sidelines. He's calling for a penalty. He's not going to get it. Jonathan David outran Max Arfson, and he slides in front of him. David just, no. That was not a penalty at all. And now there's a red card. It's going to be on Jesse Marsch, and Jesse Marsch has been kicked out of the game. Oh. All right. As that ball was cleared, Jonathan David outruns Max Arfson and then slides in front of him and doesn't touch him. Jonathan David just tried to draw the penalty by hitting the turf. Jesse Marsch is fuming. He thinks it's a penalty. He gets a red card, and he's kicked out. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the right call, man. There was no contact. Unbelievable. And Jesse Marsch gets kicked off the sideline as he's thrown out. Tell you what, man. Yeah, don't trifle with women, man. They're not playing. She was quick with the red, too. So let's see if this changes things for the U.S. men's national team. Jesse Marsch gets the red. When's the last time you've seen a coach get a red? Unbelievable. But that was the right call. Arston didn't make any contact with Jonathan David. He tried to sell it and draw the penalty. Referee said, no. That's not how it works. There was no contact. Here's the U.S. attacking up the right. Going to lay it off to Diego Luna. That ball gets kicked away a little bit, and it'll go all the way for a goal kick. But Arston slid in front of him. Did not make contact. Jonathan David just hits the turf, trying to draw the penalty. That was the right call by the ref. There was no contact. Not in the least to draw a penalty. Jesse Marsch starts screaming on the sidelines, and the ref shows him red. So this changes everything now, as now Canada is going to be led by Marsch's deputy coach there. So let's see if the U.S. can respond now. As things have changed, but it's going to be a Canada corner right now. Unreal, man. Unreal. I can't remember the last time I've seen a coach get kicked out. Here's the ball in. As that ball skips on by, but Canada will retain possession as the U.S. tries to come out. As they will play this all the way back to the right. Canada's still in possession, so they've controlled the majority of this one. Wow. As that thing gets played all the way back to St. Clair, as Ajimid tries to press him. As that ball gets played forward. Wow. Let's see what the U.S. can do, man. Can the U.S. take advantage? That was a bad pass by Matt Turner. As that ball gets out, so Canada will throw in quickly. As they're going to try to attack the center. That's a U.S. just coughed up possession. And again, it will be a Canada throw-in. As Cameron Carter-Vickers plays that out. This has been a wildly entertaining match between these two. And what's Jesse Marsch doing? They show him in the tunnel at SoFi. Wow, Jesse Marsch has been kicked out of this. Ooh, unreal, man. Nice play by Turner. As he's going to try to throw this one up. There's nobody there. He was trying to initiate the U.S. Attack quickly, except that ball went deep right into the possession of Canada. So Canada again will control things as they're going to play this one down the right. 1v1 against Arston. Oh, good defense. Canada retains. Ooh, in the box. David just scored. Jonathan David has given Canada a 2-1 lead. As they left Jonathan David wide open in the box. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? As the U.S. was fighting for possession, yep. Jonathan David used the run of Buchanan to get McKenzie going the other way. He turns and fires and puts one right in the corner past Matt Turner. Oh. And Canada leads 2-1. But it makes sense, man. Canada has essentially been dominating the possession in the second half. Unbelievable. You know, with the ability to maybe get some momentum after Canada loses their leader. But no such. It's been all Canada. As Jonathan David gives Canada the 2-1 lead in a scrum, but credit Tayshaun Buchanan. His run took Mark McKenzie off him, and he turns and fires and puts one past Matt Turner. And now the U.S. are looking for answers to try to equalize. Here's a run down the right side, and it's blocked. Timmy Weah tried to get there. That was their first legit run on the wing of the second half, but there's two Canadian jerseys to shut it down. The U.S. just has no answers right now. Pochettino is going to have to make a decision here. They need some creativity on the field right now because Canada has shut down every quadrant. Unbelievable. We'll see if the U.S. can respond again. Will the U.S. fold? Here comes Fossey. He's got space, but plays it back to Luna, back to Fossey. As they're going to try to cycle this one off to the left. Here's Arfton. Luna tried to play it forward, but Canada takes it away. Possession, man. They cannot keep possession. As they're going to try to play this one out to the right. As Fossey's going to get that ball taken away. Here comes Canada. There's a whistle. So we're in the 67th minute as Canada just scored within the last 3 minutes on a Jonathan David. Well, that was a banger. As the U.S. As Mark McKenzie got baited by Tayshaun Buchanan, leaving David wide open. He just turned and fired one into the goal. All momentum is now with Canada. As U.S. literally cannot do anything. Canada has been tactically sound. The U.S. has literally since they've scored the goal cannot get numbers forward. They cannot link passes. And it looks like there's going to be some substitutions for the U.S. as we are at the hour mark now. And I would think that Tyler Adams might be coming off. Here's Diego Luna. Here's Weah. Here's Pulisic, and Pulisic gets the ball ripped. But there is a whistle, and it will be a U.S. free kick. Well, there you go. There's something. Well, there's a little something brewing here for the U.S. As Christian Pulisic will stand on top of this free kick from about 20 yards, just right on top of the 18-yard box. As Martin Lopez checks in, he's asking what the score is, and it is 2-1 Canada. As this game was knotted at one for most of it until Jonathan Davis put one past Turner. And credit Tayshaun Buchanan because he was the one that drew Mark McKenzie off him. And David just turned and fired. That was a banger, by the way. That was a beautiful goal. So here's Christian Pulisic standing on top of this one, who's essentially been invisible this entire game. He was invisible last game as well too. As they're switching Luna, they're switching Luna and Pulisic as Pulisic's playing more of a 10 as that ball is going to go wide. And I think it'll be a corner kick for the U.S. Was it deflected? Oh, they say no, it wasn't deflected. You're welcome, Martin. Glad you're here, man. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. But yeah, though, that ball was clearly deflected. And so the U.S. will make some changes, and coming on for Tyler Adams will be Tanner Tessman. And it looks like we're going to see Gio Reyna. It's good to see Gio back in a U.S. kit playing for the U.S. men's national team. We were wondering whether we'd see Gio. We're about to see him. And it looks like also Yunus Musa is going to check in as well, too, for the U.S. So there's going to be a three-sided switch here for the U.S. And it's about time, too, because the U.S. needs something. They are being absolutely ran over by Canada. Speaking of Canada, they have possession low on the right. They're trying to play out of it, and they do. That ball in is going to get deflected. Here comes U.S. on the break. Oh, Pulisic is being mugged. There's a yellow card right there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a yellow. Christian just got absolutely mugged by Kone. Absolutely, that's going to be a yellow card. And, of course, I don't blame him. See, that's the difference. That's the difference between the U.S. and Canada, right? Kone is going to take the yellow. They're not going to allow the U.S. to get back into this one. And so if that means you're going to take a yellow against our best player, that's what you got to do. That's the difference. Who's going to be that asshole for the U.S.? Who's going to step up and take that yellow? As momentum, that's the thing. You don't want momentum to shift to your opponent. So sometimes you're going to have to eat the bullet. Who is that guy for the U.S.? The answer is we don't have one. Who is our grit guy? I hate to use this term, who's our goon? Who's going to goon it up? So here's the free kick. We're in the 67th minute, and it's going to be Christian Pulisic standing over this one. From about 20, I'd say about 25 yards. Here's the free kick. Ball in. Nobody's there. Deflected out. That ball pings in the box. Oh, deflected. Oh. As they're going to try to play this one forward. There's Matt Turner. The U.S. just absolutely cannot capitalize. That ball was deflected forward. There was 3 American jerseys. And they can't even get a shot on goal. And now it looks like Canada has a man down. It's going to be Johnston. And he's clutching his knee. And there will be a stoppage. So Canada's taken the lead. The U.S. is about to make a 3-sided change as Tessman, Gio Reyna, and Yunus Musa will come on. As Christian Pulisic now will come off for Tanner Tessman. McKinney comes off for Yunus Musa. And Tyler Adams will come off for Gio Reyna. So off comes Christian. On comes Gio. So we'll see. Luna will stay on the pitch. So now the U.S. has 2 high-roaming 10s on the pitch. Aubameyang will stay in. Tessman will take over for Tyler Adams, and Yunus Musa checks into this ball game for Weston McKennie. And it looks like Johnson is up now. So we're in the 70th minute. So we'll see. I like the idea of both Luna and Gio on the pitch at the same time. And so Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie's Nations League has come to an end here. As we'll see what the U.S. can do here. They got two of their best creative midfielders on the field right now, both Gio Reyna and Diego Luna. So we'll see. We'll see if this changes things for the U.S. As St. Clair plays this forward. Deflected forward to the U.S. Corralled in by Canada. As the U.S. is going to try to press here. So welcome back to the U.S. men's national team for Gio Reyna as he finally gets into the game. So the U.S. will deploy Musa and Tessman in the double pivot with Diego Luna and Gio Reyna. That's nice. At every turn, there is a body, and there's Schwinar knocking this one out. The hustle, the grit, the fight, the determination is all on Canada's side right now. The U.S. literally has no answer. It's been all, and there's a turnover right there. Oh, and Tanner Tessman. I like it though. As this looks like Kone is on the turf. Good. That's the reaction I want to see. Ball gets turned over. There's Tanner Tessman. That was a bad pass. That was a bad layoff by Marlon Fossey. Tessman came in. Puts Kone. But here we go. There's a Canada free kick. The U.S. has a wall. We're about to see if Canada is going to extend this lead to 2 goals here. Here's the free kick. There's the ball in. That's deflected right off the wall. Ooh. Oh, nice. Nice through ball. Good defense. But it pops down. Oh, boy. Oh, and Laria tried to put one on, but that's deflected. Is Ajiman. And there's a whistle. This looks like Segor is down. Well, it looks like U.S. is trying to be a little physical here, as it'll be a Canadian free kick. Oh, and Diego trying to do the okey doke, but no, the whistle blows. As they're trying to get order here on this field as they stand over the free kick. And it's going to be Ahmed and Schwinar. U.S. down by a goal. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Get a result from this one. They need 2 goals to win. I don't know, man. They've been absolutely useless in the attack thus far. Oh. That was dangerous. As that ball went into the far post. That was a very good ball delivered to Ahmed. Oh. And it's actually hit Moises Bombito there as it gets out. So U.S. will have the ball here as they try to keep possession. Unbelievable. As here's Marlon Fossey as the U.S. continues just to play past with their 2 back center backs. They're just not getting forward. Canada sitting in that nice little tight 5-man mid block. They're going to try to work their way up the pitch. Canada's press is just unbelievable, man. Here's Gio. As Matt Turner will play this one forward. Canada retains possession. That's a nice play. Here we go. Here comes the U.S. on the counter. Nice play. Oh, nice. Nice. Canada. That was a good play by Cornelius, taking away the angle. As that ball's trying to play it forward, but that's a little too far. That's a little too far forward, and it'll be a U.S. goal kick. But yeah, Canada's leading 2-1. I just don't see a way for the U.S. to get back in this one. They just literally cannot get numbers forward. Canada has taken everything away. They're the more physical team. They're the more aggressive team. They're the ones getting numbers forward. They're the ones dictating this match on their terms. The U.S. can't play the ball in the midfield without two Canadian shirts surrounding the ball carrier. They've done a very good job. Here's something. As Fosse's trapped. That's a nice play forward. Here we go. As they're going to try to play this one forward. And Aubameyang can't do anything. As Canada will try to counter. Can the U.S. finally break down this Canadian press and equalize this match? It doesn't look good. It does not look good. We are in the 76th minute. And it'll be a Canada free kick. Let me tell you, there's a ball forward. They're going to try to play it all the way to the right. Nice play by Arston, though, to take Ahmed out of this one. As it's a U.S. throw-in. Yeah. The U.S. simply cannot get up the field. As that ball gets out, and it'll be a Canada throw-in. Surprise. Oh, nice play by Arston against Kyle Laren. And there will be a U.S. substitution. And coming out for Patrick Aubameyang will be Brian White. A little Vancouver Whitecaps action. No Josh Sargent. So here comes Brian White. See if Brian can do something a little bit different. Can the U.S. get back into this one? I don't know. Canada throw-in. Nice deflection. That's going to get out for another Canada throw-in. Mark McKenzie good on that deflection. But it was Tajon Buchanan that pulled Mark McKenzie off his marker, that left Jonathan David wide open, who put Canada ahead 2-1. There's Jesse. By the way, Jesse Marsch got kicked out of this game, giving a red card, as he's watching from the luxury boxes as the U.S. is trying to make their way upfield here. Here's Gio. Here's Diego Luna. Plays it back to Gio. Yeah, they just can't get up the field, man. This is painful to watch. as they're going to try to play this one forward. Here's Brian White. Takes a bad deflection, and Canada as that one gets out. And it looks like it might be another Canada throw-in. Nope, USA. Marlon Fossey with the throw-in. And, you know, credit Canada, man. They played this right, just like Panama in the first game. As that ball gets out, looks like it's going to be deflected. U.S. throw-in. There's just no sense of urgency. Yeah, they're just not. Something's not clicking with this attack. Nice little flick by Luna. Try to play it back. Here's Gio Reyna, who tries to lead with his shoulder. But there's a whistle, and I think this is going to go back to Canada. Yeah, like something is just not clicking with this attack, man. They can't play through the middle of the park. Canada has shut down the wings as well too. Like there's no answer. There's no creativity. There's no sense of urgency, and that's the weird part. As Canada will boot this forward, St. Clair, as they're going to try to play this one down, and it gets out, and it'll be a U.S. throw-in. Yeah, I think everybody is hoping for at least an equalizer. I don't get the impression or the feeling we're going to see that in this one, as they're going to try to play this forward. There's a deflection, and ball strip. Here comes Canada on the counter, lays it off, and there's an offside shot. Good play by Schaufelberg. Yeah, I mean, we're in the 82nd minute, and it's like, where is the sense of urgency from the U.S.? As they're going to play this one out to Weah. Here we go on the right side. And the U.S. has to play it back. Here's Reyna. Nice little pass right here. Here's Weah. Deflected out. U.S. throw-in. Pochettino is not happy. There we go. There's a nice little ball in the mid. They're going to play it out wide to the right. Nice little move. Oh, nice play by Johnston. 1v1. Canada throwing. It's just nothing. In a third place match against Canada. Oh, here we go. Wow. Oh, wow. Tessman was driving in. He gets tripped up, no whistle. The U.S. will have to reset as they're going to try to pump this one up. Here's Arpston. Oh, nice. There it is. Yeah, Cornelius gets whistled for one. So the U.S. will have a free kick. Smart play by Cornelius. Don't give the U.S. an entry, or you cannot allow him back in the game. So Gio Reyna will stand above this one. That's a smart foul. Yeah. Canada has what the that I wish the U.S. had. Players that are willing to make that play. There's a Diego Luna. As that ball deflected right to Luna at the near post. All he needed was just a simple touch to the far post. We have a tie game. Corner. Oh, so close. The U.S. was so close. Finally, something went right for the U.S. and Diego Luna. Oh, just needed just a little bit of a silky touch. And Estachio comes in for Schwinnar. He comes off. And Jonathan Osorio comes on for Canada for Ahmed. Here in the final 5 minutes. 2-1 Canada. So it looks like the subs have been used. I thought we'd see a little bit more creativity with Luna and Gio on the pitch. And that has not been the case tonight. That was the first time in the second half the U.S. looked even remotely goal dangerous on that free kick there from Gio. As that ball deflected down to Diego Luna. And he put one on. It gets saved, but man, had he just taken his time to go far post, man, we're tied. So this will be a Canada free kick, goal kick, and St. Clair boots this one forward. Come on, U.S. Be gritty. Be gritty. Be tough. There we go. Nice strip. White wanted to run it. That ball gets deflected. Come on, Eunice. Canada throwing. Yeah, and Pochettino is just shaking his head on the sideline. I don't blame him. This is not the response that you wanted to see. On one hand, yes, they equalized after Canada scored the first goal. They showed a little bit of resilience, but since then, it's been all Canada. U.S. will try to mount an attack here. That was a nice little ball down the right-hand side. Here we go. Played it in, and that ball's poked away. And that's what I'm talking about, right? The ball gets poked away, and there's no hustle to the ball. Nice play right there. The U.S. will try to mount an attack here, and that's a nice. Too heavy of a touch. This is brutal. This is brutal, man. I got to be honest with you guys. There was no heart shown tonight. To get punked at home against Canada in a major competitive tournament, in the third place game, we finished fourth. With as much talent as the U.S. has. Oh, he gets around the corner. As that ball gets out, I think it'll be a U.S. corner, and it will. Nice play by Segor. Little dual nat. Little Croatian dual nat. Oh! Right there again. Oh, that ball bounced away from White. That was the equalizer. As Turner will boot this forward. Drops. Here's Luna. Poked away. Luna, nice through ball. Here's White. Plays it over. Oh. 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 Frustrating. That ball dropped right to White. And it just bounced a little way. So we're in the 90th minute, 5 minutes of stoppage time. Can the U.S. find an equalizer in the final 5 minutes? As that ball is deflected forward for the U.S. and it drops to Luna. Hustle to the ball. God damn it. It'll be a free kick to Canada. I am losing my fucking mind. Yeah, like outside of Diego Luna and maybe Mark McKenzie, this was not a good performance. Credit Aubameyang for getting the goal. Okay, great. As Fossey tries to play this one forward, it gets out. Swear to God, man. So piss poor, man. So piss poor. As we're a minute 30 in to the 5, and it'll be a Canada throw in. As now they're starting to smile. I think Canada realizes they got this one. As that is the throw in. Cleared. Here's Diego Luna. Oh, nice play by Johnson. Kicks the feet out from underneath Luna, and it'll be a Canada throw in. Here we go. They're going to try to play this one forward. Here's Marlon Fossey. Lays it off to Eunice, who kicks it back. Here's McKenzie. All the way out to Arfston. Deflected. Here's Cameron Carter-Vickers. Here's Marlon Fossey, wide right. Plays it in. Back to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Like, we got to get numbers forward, man. Nice little touch right there. Here's Arfston. Plays it all the way to the left. And Weah. That ball gets cleared. Arfston. Testman. Oh, nice through ball. Here's Luna. As Max Arfston put one on, but it goes wide right, and that's probably the last gasp of the U.S. Nice little move by Luna, who sprung free, tried to play one over, gets the deflection, and Arfston sails it wide right. One minute remaining. I think that's going to do it. St. Clair will play this forward. Deflected forward. Here's Luna, who tried to volley it forward. There's nothing there. As we are about 30 seconds away. And this is probably going to be it. There's St. Clair. And there it is. Oh. We're just waiting for the final whistle here. And now Reyna is going to get into a shoving match as this thing is coming. The frustration started to boil out a little bit for the U.S. men's national team. As we are past the 5 minutes of stoppage, there's a yellow card on Gio. As the clock continues to tick. Unreal, man. Unbelievable, man. So it looks like there's going to be like what? Free kick here. It's so disappointing, man. As we are about as Canada's killing whatever's remaining of this clock. And there it is. As the U.S. falls to Canada 2-1. And this was a completely disappointing result now, as we were absolutely dominated by Canada. In the third place game against Canada, in a tournament that we've dominated for three straight editions. A disappointing result against Canada, against Panama, and then an absolutely thorough domination from Canada. Yeah, I guess credit Canada. Sure. I guess we can credit Canada because they did everything that they set out to do. And that's the problem, right? Canada dictated this match on their terms. They implemented and were able to follow through on everything that they wanted to do. The U.S. had no answer, had absolutely no answer for their press and their counter press. Every single time that we moved forward, there was an answer. They absolutely shut down the middle of the park, shut down the wings, and there was really not a lot for the U.S. to do. And it's absolutely disappointing. I would like to think that, this is just a situation of Mauricio Pochettino finding out who he can and can't trust. Of course, it's going to be a process, but at the same time, you have Jesse Marsch with Canada, who's implemented a style that is very much straightforward. He understands the fact that as far as talent-wise, yes, the U.S. probably has better talent. But one thing that he has implemented is a physical style of play, and there is a demand. There is a certain level of expectation that Jesse Marsch requires, and they meet it. And it's like, fine, yeah, Canada might lose a match, but they're going to play hard. And that's something that the U.S. used to do. Not anymore. And now we're searching for answers. We're searching for answers of what our best 11 is moving forward. And yet we suffer. and we suffer these results. And it's not, I don't think that our players can't handle the demands of what Mauricio Pochettino is asking them to do. Or maybe they can't, man. Maybe that demand is something that they can't meet. But regardless, that's 2 straight performances where they did not look like they wanted to show interest. And the biggest, like, this entire match, man, whenever there was an opportunity, like when a ball gets deflected and it plays out, there's no hustle to the ball. In 1v1 situations, there is no want or desire to try to win it. They just concede possession to Canada. It was a disappointing. It was disappointing all the way around. And this is not U.S. men's national team football. I'm sorry, it is not. What we are seeing are players who look like they would rather be somewhere else. It's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and look at the overall stats. It shows that the U.S. led in possession, but I don't know, man, that was misleading. It looked like Canada controlled the tempo and controlled the ball pretty much the entire way. Canada outshot the U.S. 8-5. Canada put 4 shots on target to the U.S.'s 2. Only 2 shots on target. Okay. No big chances for the U.S., 2 for Canada. U.S. accurate pass to 364. Fouls committed, 18 for the U.S. to 13 for Canada. But this is really what I'm concerned about. Total shots, Canada dominated. Shots on target, again, they dominated. Canada had 2 block shots. Shots inside the box, 7-5. As we get into some of these passes, this is to me is the biggest one right here. Check this out. So passes with inside their own half, 261 versus 103 in the opposition half. And when you look at what Canada is, 126 in their half, 98 in the opposition half. Accurate long balls, Canada wins it 23-15. I guess the U.S. were a little bit one better on accurate crosses, but here's the thing, right? Canada, 32 throws to 29 and touches in the opposition box, 37-16. Unreal. 2 yellow cards apiece. U.S. 25 clearances, 2 blocks. Big, like this is tackles 23-11. Interceptions 15-8. Duels 56-45. Ground duels 47-28. U.S. led the aerial duels and had 1 successful dribble. But look at this though. As you look at the player ratings, Jonathan David at 8.3, and then you got Green, Ali Muhammad, Alistair Johnson, Moises Bombito, Ismail Kone, Schwinar, Olawasi, and then you look at the U.S. and it's like Patrick Aubameyang was like that. That's it. McKenzie, I guess, had a decent game. I thought Luna actually probably was the best player on the pitch for the U.S. Again, Christian no-showed again today. Such disappointing. And I got to be honest with you guys. This is not U.S. football, man. This is nothing even resembles U.S. football. Like, we've always been the aggressor. We've always been able to pick and choose when we go forward and be able to do it in confidence. Like, this is not that. This team looks like they had no desire or want to be there. They played this semifinal and 3rd place game like it was just like another friendly. Like, it's cool, man. We'll see you. We'll see you in the Gold Cup. Whatever. I guess the positives moving forward, really, for me at least, is for Mauricio Pochettino, at least now who is going to be committed going forward. you'll have no problem trusting moving forward. I think, Diego Luna, I think he kind of writes himself now into rosters moving forward. I thought Diego played well. I thought he was the only one showing heart and hustle out there. He was the one that was trying hard to scramble the balls while the rest of them just conceded possession. I thought Mark McKenzie looked pretty good today as well too. Like I got to give flowers where they're earned. Outside of that Tajon Buchanan run where he got crossed up and Jonathan David put home the winner. Outside of that, I thought he played pretty well. But outside, man, this was just another bad performance by the U.S. men's national team. And I understand how this is going to play moving forward, right? A lot of fans are going to say Potch out. They're going to start talking about how he doesn't understand CONCACAF or this, that, and the other. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Really, what I think it is he's still trying to feel out the roster and feel out who he's going to be able to trust. And it's hard. Like, obviously, Christian's our best player, but it's hard when he comes into camp and he has these performances. And, the way that Potch has deployed him, like tonight, Christian was deployed on the left, but for the most part, Christian was playing centrally. And that kind of, you kind of saw that. And especially as they were trying to move the ball down the side, you would either see Timmy Weah or you would see Diego Luna hugging the touchline as Christian was running central. But the problem with that is Diego, is a central attacker. His best creativity is through the middle of the park. So there's better ways that you can deploy two high tens and still make it work. But that being said, it also requires discipline and attacking movement going forward off the wings. And that's just something that we didn't have. We didn't have a lot of balls in off the wings. Again, credit Canada because they took it away, but you can't beat Alistair Johnson. I don't know, man. This was a bad performance, and there's going to be some fallout. But there has to be some sort of expectation for the next camp that there is a level of play that is demanded, and it doesn't matter what your club schedule is. Like, if you get picked, you should have pride wearing the stars and stripes. Like, that is something that you should want. And if you don't want it, or if you take it for granted, I'm sorry, I don't want to see you. Because there are other guys that would kill to be in that position. Didn't you notice the difference between the November window and the January window? The last time that you saw the big names in the November window versus Camp Cupcake, and the guys that play in the January window against Costa Rica and Venezuela, those guys were playing their hearts out. They actually had an inspiring performance, and I get it, man. That's mostly MLS guys, but dude, they killed to be in the red, white, and blue. They played their butts off, and we actually had some good results versus these guys who just, whatever, man. That's cool. See you next window, as they're just putting in their token performances as we're inching our way towards one of the biggest tournaments this country has ever hosted. The last time we had a tournament of this magnitude was in 1994, and that team blew the roof off of it. And when these performances happen, it's like, I understand that for the most part, these don't necessarily have a lot of influence on what's going to happen in 2026. But when you're getting blown off the park by Panama and Canada on home soil, man, it does not give a lot of enthusiasm or hope, man, for American fans. They're kind of like, what's going to happen when we play England or France or Italy? Are they going to show up? We'll find out. Disappointing performance for the U.S. men's national team, but I don't know what to say, man. That's going to do it for me, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hit your like and subscribe buttons, and I hope you guys have had a good weekend, man. I really do. best of luck this upcoming week for you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you achieve all your endeavors, man. Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.